It's Trividal. Today I want to do this video on cleaning your controller for for the purpose of getting rid of controller drift. I was playing Blade and Sorcery earlier, and my guy just kept spinning around in a circle, and it was really making me sick. Normally I don't get sick from VR, not for a long time anyway, but sure was making me sick today. So we're gonna go through the best way I have found to get rid of the controller drift, and we're gonna start out, even though you just watched me put them back in, pulling the battery out because we want to make sure that we don't fry our controller. So we want to make sure there's no power to it. Take the battery out. I use rechargeables because I think it's a lot cheaper than trying to buy a million batteries, because they do go dead pretty quick. So what you're going to need, a Q-tip or Q-tips. Rubbing alcohol. I like 91% because it evaporates a lot quicker. Yeah. Isopropyl alcohol. Not Smirnoff vodka from the liquor store. Which I suppose might work, but I wouldn't try it. Alcohol turns into sugar. Anyway, so we're gonna get the tip of it nice and saturated. I like using these Q-tips that have the hollow middle because it goes through to the other side and you don't have to smash it down, and it gets nice and wet and saturated. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna clean this top part of it right here. Pull my stick down and just clean around this upper part. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to slowly push the thumbstick forward against the head of the Q-tip to kind of squeeze some of that alcohol out of there, because I want the alcohol to get down into the controller, or at least down around all the way around the ball and into it a little farther than what you see. I like to push it down, the press, while I'm doing it, because I think it's a good idea. And then you just, as soon as you get alcohol on it, you just spin it around, back and forth, up and down, spin it around. I do this for about 5 minutes each, go or round, whatever you want to call it. And I do, I don't know however many I feel is necessary. The worse the drift, the more I'll do it. But yeah, it's pretty simple mechanics and pretty simple principle. You're just cleaning it with alcohol. Whoa. We use alcohol because it evaporates a lot quicker and it's good at cleaning. You can use contact cleaner, but I've seen a lot of videos that warn against it. I've never personally used it. I guess you use some compressed air once, and I did it, and I gave it plenty of time to dry before I put the battery back in. I mean, we're talking like 5-6 hours because I was doing something else and wasn't gonna play. So yeah, we're just gonna keep doing this, and we're gonna do it about, I don't know, this time, since my controller drift was, I'd already worked on it earlier and it kind of went down and then it kicked back in. So I'm not gonna do it half as long as I normally would, because I'm pretty sure it's just needs a little extra cleaning. I like to use my other hand sometimes because my thumbs gets tired. I think it's easier to push up and down. Yeah, so here in a minute we're gonna pop the controller back in, or the battery back into the controller, and we will see if it's solved our problem. All right, so I've been sitting here putting alcohol on it and rubbing this, and spinning this thing around for quite a while here. What I did, and I forgot to mention this, is I used the Q-tip until all of the alcohol is, till you rub it on there and you're basically not getting much alcohol left, and then I'll test it out and see if it works. I'm to that point where most of the alcohol is gone now, but I wanted to talk to you guys about some things you can do to avoid the controller drift, and that is wash your hands before you play, before you pick up your controllers, before you do anything. Make sure your hands are clean. Don't snack on especially sugary foods while you're playing. I try not to snack on anything while I'm playing, just because I think that's a bad idea. Even if it was an Xbox or a PlayStation, I wouldn't want to get my controllers all dirty, because that's your main part of it, other than the system. Can't really do anything without a controller. But I think we're about dry. I usually put a little extra dab type up here of alcohol, and I wait for that to evaporate, and once it evaporates, then I know that the inside's probably pretty well evaporated too. But you want to make sure you give it ample time to evaporate. You don't want to turn it or put the battery back in there with any kind of liquid inside of it, because that's what's going to make it fry. You definitely don't want any connections to make connections with each other, if you know what I mean. But we're going to test this here in just a second. But before that, I would like you guys to please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. I do live streams, music, comedy, and video games. So if you like any of those three or all of those three, you might enjoy my live stream. And you'll get videos like this every once in a while. Little helpful hints and tricks for that have to do with video games, music, and comedy. Alright, that looks pretty well dry, but there's a couple of places that are still kind of wet that I can see, so I'm going to keep going around. Sometimes I like to flip the controller upside down too. I feel like, for some reason, I feel like that helps. I don't know. It's maybe more of a superstitious thing. I don't know. But like I said, we're going to check this out here in just a second and see if our controller drift is taken care of. Alright, I've been doing this now for probably about 10 or 15 minutes. I know we're only 6 minutes into the video, but I keep stopping it so I can make this a little shorter for you guys. But I think it's been a while since I've hit it with any alcohol, so I think it's probably all evaporated. I hate to do this, but you know, there's only really one way to find out. Well, we got power. That's a good thing. I don't think I fried it. All right, let's see if we fix the problem. Don't have a inside my Oculus view for you guys because I'm not set up for that right at the moment. But come on, oh yeah, forgot I was still playing games. We're in sourcing. All right, get my other controller. Let's see here. All right, I'm turning. It's not giving me any resistance. It is giving me a little snap back. Oh, there we go. Yep. All right. Still getting some controller drift. So what we'll do then is we'll just go back to the beginning and see if we can't get it the rest of the way clean. It is a lot better. It's not nearly as bad. It's easy to stop. All I have to do is touch the thumbstick and it'll stop spinning. But it's still enough that it's going to annoy me. Probably won't make me sick, but it's definitely enough to still annoy me. So we'll go ahead and continue this process. All right, we're still going at this, trying to get it clean. I've swiped it about 2 times, 3 times. One thing I was going to mention, my drift is to the right and up. And so what I'm doing, and I don't know if this is really helping my situation any or not, but I found it does in the past when I've tested it out. So my drift is up and to the right, and so I'm cleaning down and to the left of the thumbstick. Or sorry, no, the drift is up and to the left, so I'm cleaning down and to the right on the thumbstick because I don't know why, but I feel like in the past it's worked a lot better that way. And sometimes I like to hold it upside down. Like I said, it makes it, I don't know. I think it gives the alcohol somewhere else to drain. And I think that's important because it's carrying whatever you had on there that was gunking it up to begin with. One thing I wanted to say too about contact cleaner. If you are going to use contact cleaner, I've heard that the WD-40 contact cleaner is the best way to go. It's an electrical contact cleaner. And it's made specifically to evaporate quickly and not fry your controllers. What I'm gonna do here after I test it one more time to see if I've got the drift taken care of is I'm going to take some WD-40, but I'm not gonna use. I'll show you. Let me check this out and see if I fixed it. Does it look dry? It looks dry. All right, I'm gonna test it out and I'll come back. All right, so I checked it out. It's working. The drift's gone. So I am going to move on to the last step here. And I have a big old can of WD-40, which I don't think you need anything quite this big unless you have a use for it at the house. But I'm going to get a very little amount on the tip of my Q-tip. This isn't like it was with the alcohol where we're trying to saturate it. I just put just enough to get, you can't really see it, but just enough that you can get it in your palm of your hand, get the smell of it on there. Now I'm going to do what I was doing with the alcohol and just rub it all the way around the outside of the hole, or the thumbstick, sorry, the ball, the thumbstick. And you'll notice the ball should be pretty squeaky clean, it's shiny even, and I tend to forget that it cleans it that well, and sometimes I think it's still wet. But yeah, I'm gonna grab a little bit more WD-40, and sorry, I poured some in the cap so I didn't have to stick it in there like I just did a minute ago. But yeah, run that all the way around. Now WD-40 is not going to evaporate like alcohol, so you don't want to saturate the ball of it with it. I've heard horror stories about people using WD-40 to clean it and their contacts making contact with each other and causing a big problem. But yeah, so that's that, and hopefully that WD-40 will keep anything from building up on there, whatever built up on there before to cause the drift. Hopefully it'll keep that from happening. Every time I've done this in the past, I've gone longer without getting the controller drift back when I use the WD-40 like that, but I can't stress enough, just use a little bit, just enough to get that ball kind of lubed up. And yeah, with that, I think we're good. Like I said, if you enjoyed this, if it was useful, if it was helpful, even if it wasn't, like, subscribe, and I appreciate you guys. Thanks. Have a good one.